you're a student, or a businessman, or belong to any field of life, this true motivational and inspirational story of a famous scientist and industrialist, Alfred Nobel, will teach you how a shift in your thinking can shift you to the height of success in life. In 1888, there was a famous scientist who made numerous discoveries and made fortune from his inventions. One day, he was reading his local morning newspaper, and to his surprise, he finds out his name in the obituary column. The newspaper had reported the death of him by mistake, believing he had passed away, when in reality, his brother had passed away a day before. What he read in newspaper horrified him. They titled him as the Merchant of Death. They also described him as a man who had made it possible to kill more people more quickly than anyone else who had ever lived. They criticized his invention of dynamite. There wasn't anything good written about him. The news hit him hard. At that moment, he quickly realized two things. Number one, that this was how people were going to remember him, and number two, that this was not the way he wanted to be remembered. From that day on, he started working towards peace. He lost most of his wealth in a trust. From that day, Nobel Prize was created for those outstanding people who make outstanding performance in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and peace. This was the best prize for all of the high-performing people in the world who perform their best for all of the mankind. Today, most are conversant in the Nobel Prize, while relatively few people know the actual history behind it. How Alfred Nobel made his fortune. It was a thought after the invention of dynamite that changes his life. Thinking about how one's obituary is going to read can motivate to rethink and reflect on our life, and how we are currently spending our life. The one thing we will learn from this story is that the great we do lives after us. For most of us, this is the most important thing that we ever leave behind. The reality of death is often our greatest motivator. If we let it, it can help refocus on our visions and remember why we do what we do. What's your understanding? What death means in all of its darkness? You will understand life. You will see deaths not as a problem, but a fact. That fact will change the way you see everything going forward. The only to deal with the reality of death is go out there and live the best life you can while you can. Use your life to do something that gives you meaning, and then you will no longer see death as a problem when it comes upon you. There is famous saying, life is a book of 3 pages. The first page is birth, the last page is death, and center page is empty.
A special thank you from the heart